It's the album she made after she had her first child, and also hence the title Mother. But it also talks about her relationship with her mother, her actual mother, and the turbulence they had with her growing up. And at certain points, I couldn't believe she was letting us in her life that much. What's up, everyone? This is Tatum. I'm back with another episode of Fuck This Review. I feel like this is like a lost episode. I'm sorry it took me so long to do this review. I have been listening to this album since it came out. I don't know why it took me so long to get here. So many reviews and things I got to do. But finally, and it's one of my favorite albums I heard this year. So finally, today I'm going to be talking about Cleo Soul, Mother. Lonely nights. This is my first Cleo Soul album or body of work that I listened to. I don't even know how I heard about it. I think I was just scrolling Apple and new releases one day and just saw it under the R&B section. And first thoughts, I love this album. It's this and Yabba, like, contenders for best album of the year. I can't wait to do my list at the end of the year. But this album, it's so vulnerable, and it's so, at certain points I couldn't believe she was letting us in her life that much. It's the album she made after she had her first child, and also hence the title Mother. But it also talks about her relationship with her mother, her actual mother, and the turbulence they had with her growing up. And that part of the story was just crazy because for the most part we all got mother issues. So some are harsher than others, but it's always something that you could pull from and relate to. And the music was great. The production was great. It was a cohesive body of work, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I'm going to go through some of the tracks on here, tell you about the things I loved about it. But let's get into it. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And if you like what you see, tell a friend to tell a friend. That's all I ask. Let's get to this review. The album starts with Don't Let Me Fall. And that record, as soon as it came on, it almost brought tears to my eyes. Just the instrumentation, the story that she told on there. Let me just read you some of the lyrics off that record. Lonely nights, I still hear the cries from Sherry. Please don't hit me. We were kids under the sheets in this hoarded house. There's no hope in these rooms of loop dreams. All these pictures look at me. Mother, don't leave. Just right there, just in that short couple bars, you get zapped into her life, and you could see her as a kid, and you can see the domestic violence and things that's going on in the house. And she introduces maybe her mother leaving and how important a mother is to the development and of a child, and how that also, to me, what I wanted to say, this album also, it's kind of a forgiveness aspect to it. Like, she's not holding those things against her mom. Maybe she did in the past. I'm not sure if the having a child of her own has helped her just mature in a way. I hate to even use that word in this sense, but I don't blame you, right? And it was just beautiful music, and then the drums come in. It's a very beautiful record. It's a very beautiful record. I've been there, man. So I know how a mother's tongue is sharp as a knife and can cut you, especially at that young age. And you don't know that they're going through their own things in life. And yeah, I love that as the intro. I really did love that as the intro. And then Promises comes on with like this laid back neo soul like vibe, and I think that's the one she has like a choir. It sounds like choir did a bunch of background vocals. There's vocals on here where she had children singing. One thing I did enjoy about this album very much is that on certain records, obviously she's talking about her mom. Obviously she's talking about her newborn, and also you can hear her. It's kind of a self-reflecting kind of thing, like looking back on it. I know you've been through this. I know. Like, I just love that aspect of it. How that story just weave the mom, the newborn, and her. I think that was just dope, and I think Promises was another example of that. I wrote a letter to myself, and it was full of promises, one for you and one for me. Love is not our enemy. I wrote a letter to myself, and it was full of promises, one for you and one for me. Love is not our enemy. And I was like, damn, that's so dope. And I was thinking, that could have been about the letter to her mom, or it could have been a letter to her new child. Like the promises that you'll make to be. I can't be in the mother's shoes at all, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's a heavy load. It's a lot of emotions, a lot of mental stuff that comes along with it, with carrying a whole nother life, and the pressure that kind of puts on you, and the how better you want your child's life to be compared to yours. And you start reflecting on your upbringing, which is why this album is probably like this. I just enjoyed that aspect of it. Heart Full of Love. That one is strictly a record about her newborn, her new child, and she's just thanking God for sending her an angel in times when she was down, when she was really down. Like I hear a lot of times women say that the child saved their life in more ways than one, and I think this is an example of that. On Build Me Up, I loved her vocals on just that bare piano. And it just felt so warm and so pure. And I'm not sure how old she is, but I'm not sure if her mom was disappointed, or the aspect that her mom was disappointed in her with. Forgive me, I'm not what you want me to be, but I was raised under a roof of unfinished dreams. Jesus. How to love, how to trust without a fight, finally learning how to live my own life. That's a tough one. That's a tough bar. That's a tough verse. I really hope that I'm not talking like I know her. I really hope that her and her mom relationship was mended after this in some way. Because this is even though I'm a mom, I'm still a child, and I'm asking. Like, she kind of like, who says that it's hard? Was it that hard for you to build me up? Like, to their parent, that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. Sunshine was dope. It had a nice little bop to it. What I liked about Sunshine was that the production was dope. Inflow, I'm not familiar with him or her, but the production on here was dope. It fit this theme perfectly. I love how in the verses it was like this somber kind of sound, and then when the hook comes in, when she says "Sunshine, you make me feel," it like gets some production, it gets some percussion in it, and the beat gets a little lighter. And I took that as obviously happiness, searching for sunshine, obviously, but I also took it as a double entendre, like son, like her son. That's what I thought about it. I love that record too. We Need You is another record I think is dedicated to her son. 23, probably my favorite. Just again, that conversation with her mom, the way that the trauma that she's unpacking with her mom in this album is crazy. Didn't have no one, sacrifice your goals, didn't trust yourself, don't need to lie. I know you can survive, but it feels like sometimes you need to cry. Oh mama, why? The little stars, they locked up your dreams and missing pieces there in me. Now, I'm not sure if her mom was an inspired singer. I'm just putting things together here, so just let me fan out. Or let me just conspiracy theory a little bit. I'm not sure if her mom was a aspired singer or anything like that, and there might be some turmoil with Cleo becoming who she is in a sense. Yeah, but that's a tough pill to swallow as a kid to even express this. And if she's young the way that I think she is and wrote this, I'm even more of a fan. Music, that switch in there, that music gives me that Saturday morning cleanup music. Like it felt so good. Cleaning up or riding around the city and just sunny day type vibes. That's what I got from music. That switch up was dope. The switch in there, again, I think her and Inflow were working so on the same frequency. And that's what I always enjoy about albums where it's an artist and a producer, because you both can, instead of just the artist going to so many different producers. Not saying that those don't work out well either. I'm just saying, like, when you get to lock in with someone and you can be vulnerable, because she has to be vulnerable writing these records and sharing this with him, and he has to be willing to accept that, or they have to be willing to accept that. You know what I mean? Taking on that pain, and like, it's a lot, but I enjoy when an artist just links up with one producer and just mash out the whole album. You Know You're Loved. It's like an interlude to me again, and the album ends with Spiritual, which is like, to me, a conversation with God. That's just me though, dealing with everything she went through in the album and just seeing some kind of light. That's what I got from it. Yeah, let me get into my favorite songs. Music, 23, Don't Let Me Fall. Worst song, Don't Let It Go to Your Head. Best line, Fall, where she just says, the train never stopped, never had time to unpack your trauma, keep fighting the world, that's how you get love, mama. Your bitter tongue is sharper than a knife, cut so deep inside, don't care with a smile that I'm a child. And I kind of relate to that, so that line stood out to me immediately. Rating, fucks given out of 5, I'll give it a 4. I give it a 4. I want to go back and listen to her last album just to get a grasp of everything, but I really enjoyed this one. So let's wrap this up. In closing, when it comes to Cleo Soul Mother, this album it's one of my favorites of the year. Again, I enjoyed the vulnerability on here. I love how the way she weaved motherhood between herself and she's talking to her child and she's talking to her mom and getting past trauma and forgiving her mom. Because I'm pretty sure, I don't know her, but I'm pretty sure it was a lot of pain and animosity there growing up. As she mentioned, like, she grew up in a house where it was violence. She grew up in a house where she wasn't built up. She grew up in a house where it was just a lot of pain. And becoming a parent, you don't want to continue that cycle. You want to give your kid everything you don't have. That's material things possibly and love. So I enjoyed her just for being vulnerable and being as young as she is and writing this pain and getting that out. And it's like therapy. So I hope just from listening to it and being a fan of the work that she gets past, and I hope her and her mom like reconcile and just smooth that terrain. And because like she said, it's nothing like a mother's love. If you haven't checked out Cleo Soul Mother album, check it out. It's one of my favorites of the year. I'm gonna do a list, probably a top 10 or something list towards the end of the year, my favorite records, so you guys can just get to know me a little bit better. But other than that, as always, fuck this review. I'm Tatum. Peace.